Welcome back, everyone. Toy Shiz here, and I am back yet again for yet another McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse news update. In the grand scheme of everything that McFarlane Toys puts out in terms of DC Multiverse, I'm going to say that the line we're going to be talking about here today seems to be so far at the bottom of the list. We have the standard DC Multiverse line, we have the Build-A-Figure line, we have the digital line, we have the collector's edition line, exclusives, gold labels, platinums. Are you confused yet? Yes, I would say that so far the collector's universe of DC Multiverse are as perplexed as I tend to be sometimes. But in terms of the page punchers, the 7-inch line, of which we will be discussing here today, seemingly they're kind of more on a track here that I would like to see them go. It's not just, here's a caveman wave, there you go. Here's the Ghosts of Krypton, here you go. A bit less all the time of Legends of the Dark Knight, and a bit more of what we're going to be talking about here today. Now, before we get started, as always, if you are interested in anything we're going to be talking about here, I will have affiliate pre-order links down in the description below. And as always, thank you so much for using my links. It helps the channel to grow. So as I previously said, with the recent page punchers, they will take, say, Ghosts of Krypton and just kind of run with it and make a bunch of characters that really nobody has any interest in, or anybody really goes, oh, well, I know what that's from. There are key elements that I enjoy. I really did like the caveman wave. I thought that was interesting, but it doesn't hit every single time. And I think that with the exception of Brainiac for that Ghosts of Krypton wave, it just seemingly lost me. It was too much in the vein of, I really don't associate anything DC Comics with what I'm seeing here. This, though, with a Christopher Reeve Superman seemingly getting attacked by a Sharpie, perhaps that might be the better way to go. He does look very Beautiful Joe-ish, just FYI. But I have to say, NECA Toys Supreme, let's just put that out there. Mondo, they know how to do that cartoon, cell shading, comic book shading. They just got it down pat. It does kind of look like Christopher Reeve in the more modernish type Superman comics of recent years, so sure, run with it. I am just not so sure that this comic book shading does anything to amplify the figure, especially in the face. The face is very odd now. I think that, yes, it has softer details, of which, yeah, that would definitely apply to Christopher Reeve. But when you have too much of the eyes going on, you've got the accent of the chin now, the mouth, it doesn't come across as comic book art. It just kind of looks like a weird cell shading cartoon of, let's say, the early 2000s, something like that. Like I said, Beautiful Joe all the way. That was a great game, by the way. And I will agree that I think the reds and the blues, that looks good. So why not just stop there? Instead of putting all this black accents, why not fill the box with powers? Maybe some heat vision, some super breath, something like that that brings the character of Superman to life, because him being all sharpied up does not do anything in the well of, oh yeah, that looks great. Everyone's clamoring for this. And I could be wrong. There could be a lot of people out there that go, hey, you know what? I really like this type of style. And I will say, I love when NECA Toys does the cartoon TMNT. I think they do a great job with that cell shading motif. But this doesn't have that artist's eye to it. It kind of just looks like, well, this works, right? And we'll just try it, and here's the black with the weird shapes. And no, it doesn't work, and it doesn't look good, and it demeans the figure. This is Christopher Reeve. This is Superman. Make it look good. And if it doesn't look good, someone in the room, somebody, when you're doing the thing, go, hey, how does this look? Somebody needs to start saying, this doesn't work. This is not good. We should not release this because this is not amplifying our company. This is making everybody online go, what the heck is that? It just looks like someone at home customized a figure and then they ran with it. Oh yeah, let's totally make that. If you look at the figure they photographed on the S shield, it's missing elements of the symbol, just FYI. Although I do believe that in the final product, it will have that. If not, that's totally weird. I have seen the standard Christopher Reeve Superman, had it in my hand, checked it out. It's a pretty cool looking figure, and it does look better in hand than the photography that usually accompanies McFarlane Toys solicitations. That's always seems to be the way for whatever reason. He does have the S shield on the back of his wired cape. He has the same exact hands as the standard release, so there's nothing really new here except for, well, they just put a bunch of black every which way, and it really doesn't work in terms of making this character stand out. It just kind of looks like, well, there it is, and you tried. So, Superman 78, if you need them, affiliate pre-order links down in the description below. Now, to the exact opposite, we have a new Captain Marvel figure, and I know everyone's going to say, but I thought it was Shazam. It's Captain Marvel. It's not that Captain Marvel. It is the DC Comics Captain Marvel. So just run with it. But yes, if you want to call Billy Batson Shazam or Captain Marvel, hey, it's whatever you want it to be. The eyes. A lot of people have said something about that on social media. Well, that's some old school comic book action, of which I'm very happy that they went that route. I actually really like that. The rest of the character, the body type that they have chosen, the yellow boots, the gold, the wired cape with the medallion, that looks awesome. But I will tell you this, for those of you confused on the eyes, well, in the artwork, he has full-on pupils, so I can see where people are like, what the heck? It's DC Comics, man. There are no rules anymore. I like the head portrait. I like the body type. Like I said, I like the paint, the yellow. That looks more like a classic Shazam Captain Marvel if I've ever seen one. On the page punchers, card backs, those horrible clamshells that'll slice your hand open if you do it wrong. So if you want Shazam Captain Marvel Billy Batson, you can grab him below now. And then finally, this is the one. This is the one where I go, I missed it the first time around, and I'm totally stoked. There was a little bit of confusion. This is a 6-inch figure reissue of the DCAU, the Batman Adventures. The Batman Adventures continues because now we have Jason Todd as the Red Hood. But yes, it's a 6-inch reissue amidst the 7-inch Page Punchers wave. It was worded a little bit weird when they first unveiled it. This one is very cool. The storyline, however, of which Jason Todd, the Red Hood, fits into Batman Adventures. Now, it's not the Batman the Animated Series, even though Batman Adventures was kind of like the offshoot comics, but in a way it was its own continuity as it kept going. There are some tie-ins, but you'll see, especially things with Mr. Freeze. Yes, it's its own continuity. So I guess it would work, kind of, sort of. You're really stretching things when you find out about how Red Hood Jason Todd fits into it, but sure, why not? Actually, it's just kind of cool to get him in an animated design, and that's why I want it. So you get the unmasked portrait. You do get a gun. He's got the bat symbol on his back. He's also got seemingly a grenade launcher, batarang, all kinds of hands. This is a win. If it comes out looking as good as it's seen in these photos, heck yeah, I'm in for a Jason Todd Red Hood reissue for the DCAU. So again, in terms of Page Punchers having a figure and a comic, with the exception of that Superman, and I'm sure you may see Platinum Editions with one or two of these figures. That's just kind of a given with how they do things. There's a couple figures you may need. Who knows? So that's going to wrap it up for my quick look at the brand new wave of McFarlane Toys 7-inch scale Page Punchers with a 6-inch DCAU reissue thrown in there to boot. And I like that. Kind of divvy it up. Kind of go either which way. Doesn't always have to be the same thing. Make it cool. Make the Page Punchers line something unique. But you've heard my thoughts, and now I'm curious to know yours. Comment below. Let me know. Let's talk everything DCAU and then the Page Punchers. Sure, why not? So I'm going to leave you guys with that. As always, drink some great coffee, eat some great food, but most importantly, remember, when it comes to McFarlane Toys, it's confusing, isn't it? Leave me your confusions down in the comments below. Let's see what people are saying. When they do, let me know what you found. I'll talk to you guys soon. Adios.